Welcome into another edition of Chasers Chat, presented by Lamson Dugan Murray. I'm the voice of the Storm Chasers, Nick Batters, and we're chatting with Chasers pitcher, Austin Cox. So, Austin, it's been a wild last year for you. Let's go back to the start of May when you got called up and made your Major League debut. Kind of take us through what was, I'm sure, a whirlwind of about 48 hours for you and your family.
It was a whirlwind. I showed up at 8:30, and Jersh told me to come into the office. And my first thought was, oh, Lord, I'm not going to start today's game, and I'm going to get moved back to another game. And then he sat me down and basically just said, hey, he kind of joked with me at first, told me that he was like, hey, things haven't looked right, so we're gonna send you up and let them figure it out. And it was 8 in the morning, so I was a little groggy, and I was like, send me up? What is he talking about? And then it kind of hit me, and I started to tear up. And then Dane was sitting right there, he was smiling really big, and he gave me a hug, and Jerry said, congratulations, you're gonna be a big leaguer. So I called my wife first, and then called my parents. And then after that, we had to start figuring out how we were going to get them to Kansas City. So they all flew up. They had a 4 o'clock flight, landed at 6 Kansas City time. The game was at 6:30. Came straight to the park. I didn't get in that night, but then they stayed the night at my in-laws' house, and then we're at the game the next day when I was fortunate enough to make my debut.
What was that debut like? You had a pretty efficient first inning, maybe a little bit of time to soak it in with a play that was challenged. Take us through those 2 innings and what that entire day was like.
So, getting down to the bullpen, they had kind of told me that I was going to be the long guy. So once the starter kind of got through 5, I was like, oh man, I'm not going to get in today. And then they called down and said, hey, Cox is in the game. And immediately, that stomach drop feeling, my stomach immediately starts turning. But I pitched for Mitch Stetter, who's the bullpen coach, in 2019 in Lexington. So it was familiar. And then as I was getting loose, Stet looked at me and just said, hey, you're not going to be able to feel your legs, and you're not going to be able to catch your breath. Take a deep breath and just go compete. And, I really focused on that. And then jogging out there, I told, my family when I turned to run out of the gate to go in the game, it looked like it was 10 feet wide, and I know that gate's only about 4 feet wide. So it was the weirdest thing. And then got out there, was fortunate enough to get 3 outs, and then the 3rd out was challenged. So as I was walking off, the umpire kind of said, hold on, stay out here. So I just took it upon myself to look around, take it all in, look in the stands, see my family, see friends that had come. And so that was really, really neat to be able to kind of stand there and soak it in. That, and in all reality, most people don't get the chance to kind of stand there on the field and just soak it in. So that was really, really neat.
You were a part of a really talented, pitching-rich draft class in 2018. Some of them still here in Omaha, some of them up in Kansas City. What was it like to be able to join them both as major leaguers, but some of them in Kansas City as well, guys that you've been playing with for a long time?
It was really, really cool. I mean, Kowar and Heasley were both in my wedding. Daniel Lynch was at my wedding. And, we immediately, as soon as we all got drafted, we all became very close. We all competed, I'd say, ferociously with each other, in a very good way. We always wanted to one-up each other, but we always cheered for the other one. So I was in the room when Heasley got called up in 2021. So that was really, really cool to get my shot and to go join those guys and do something that's really special with that draft class.
Now, you made your Major League debut as a reliever, but a lot of your professional experience has been as a starter. I know every starting pitcher is a little different, whether it's superstitions or routines, but what does a start day look like for Austin Cox?
So usually I don't like to do much. Wake up, go get coffee, breakfast. It's pretty simple. I don't like to sit around the house a lot, so usually when Clubhouse opens, either 30 minutes or an hour after Clubhouse opens, I get here. I try to eat right when I get there, whether it's I pick something up on the way. Recently, I've been doing 2 Uncrustable snacks and then a banana, because if I eat too close to time, I get indigestion while I'm pitching, and it's just really uncomfortable. So that's usually a pretty normal. And then an hour and a half before the game, start my routine, and then that kind of autopilot kind of kicks in from there.
You got married back in December. Now you and your wife, Hope, are expecting. What has the last 6 months been like for you, and what was the weigh-in like? Again, congratulations.
During the season last year, Hope was planning our wedding kind of by herself, her and her mom. And then my mom was doing the rehearsal dinner. And once we got in the off season, I kind of saw up close and personal how much work they were putting in. And then December 17th came, and we had probably, as of now, the best night of our lives. And then it turned out perfect. Hope did an amazing job. Her mom did an amazing job. My mom did an amazing job of setting everything up. It was a perfect night, and we had a blast. And then go to spring training. I'm in Major League camp, and with 2 weeks left in camp, Hope pulls up to pick me up, and she's like, "Hey, pull over." And I was like, "Why?" And she's like, "You want to see something crazy?" And pulls out the pregnancy test, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, this is happening. Here we go." So it's been quite a whirlwind, but it's also been a lot of fun. She's handled everything amazing, and it's been a lot of fun to watch her start that journey of being a mother. So it's been really cool.
Let's get to know you a little bit off the field. If I were to look in your phone right now, what would be the most used emoji that you have on your emoji keyboard?
Oh, the crying laughy face, for sure. Crying laughy face.
Do you know what would be number 2?
Gosh.
That's where it gets tricky, because you know what one you use the most.
Probably hard eyes. I send that to my wife a lot.
That's a good answer. Now let's say you have the perfect off day that you can plan out from start to finish. What would that look like?
From start to finish, let's see. I'd get up, have golf planned for sure. I enjoy going to the course with the guys. I'd probably go get breakfast with my wife, and then go meet the guys at the golf course. And then once we're done with that, go grab something to eat with the guys and my wife, hopefully their wives too, or significant others. And then probably go sit by the pool to end the day. And then I enjoy grilling, so it'd definitely be like grilling a steak for everybody. Like, I like when everybody brings a meat, and I get to grill it for everybody.
Going back to your childhood, do you remember who your first celebrity crush was?
It was the pink Power Ranger from the Power Rangers. I don't know her name.
Let's say you're taking a road trip with one of your teammates. Who is that teammate that you would want as your co-pilot or the person that's on aux for that trip?
Kowar, for sure. Kowar is the aux guy, and he makes playlists on Spotify. He has one that's specifically designated for me when we hang out. So he's really good at kind of judging the crowd, judging what everybody wants to hear, and playing really incorporating everybody into the music.
I don't want to pull back the curtain all the way, but what would be some of the songs in that Spotify playlist the two of you have?
Oh gosh, a lot of country, like older country. I guess Garth Brooks technically ain't on Spotify, but like Garth Brooks song, George Strait songs, Jamie Johnson songs, and that's kind of the gist of the playlist would be just older country music.
Last thing I'll ask before I let you go, our social media manager, Nina, helped us do a deep dive on your Instagram. There's one post that I want to ask you about specifically. Kind of take us through what's going on here. I'm guessing these are Halloween costumes, but take me through this post.
Yes. So in college, the baseball team was in charge of the Halloween get-together. And we were going through Party City one night close to the Halloween get-together. And I walked by this baby outfit, and I'm a pretty big guy. I'm about 6'4". Like, at that point, I was a little more thin back then, but I was probably 220 back then, and I was like, man, this would be quite ironic for me to walk around in a baby costume all night. So that's the story behind that.
Well, Austin Cox, really appreciate the time. Glad that we were able to sit down and chat for a little bit. Best of luck this rest of the season, and looking forward to hopefully seeing you pitching some more games up in Kansas City soon.
I appreciate it. Thank you.